What's going on, everybody? Toby1 Shinobi here, and today we are doing a learn from my mistakes type of video where I'm going to go through all the deaths that I had in a single stream and basically analyze them, break them down, figure out what happened and how I can fix it in the future. Now, I think that this video is really going to help myself, but I also think it's going to help you guys a lot because I'm going to show you the system that I'm using to basically reprogram my brain to make better decisions in the future. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. All right, so here is our first mistake here, our first death, and we are in the end game. There are 5 players left, and I'm headed up here because I know that this is high ground up here. This is a very good spot to beat. I want to beat everyone to it. That's just the best spot to be, so I want to be there, and I want to set up early and be able to basically bully anyone who's trying to push this. Now, what's weird about this, I know, is that you can hear myself talking in the background. This is from a stream, so I can't really cut my own audio out, so I will be talking over myself sometimes, so I apologize for that. Okay, so we're coming up here, and I see an enemy. I jump out of the car, and I eliminate them. So that's probably an AI, and that's fine and all. But I was getting shot at from the back right here. And right now, what I really need to do is get to that high ground, because that high ground is so potent, so powerful. If I get there right now, I can hold anyone off. But if I'm late and they get there first, I'm in big trouble. And so here is the mistake I make. My first mistake is getting back in this car and just kind of putting around, parking it so that I can use it later or use it as an escape if I need to. But in reality, the priority should be just getting up on top of this roof. If I need to go, shoot, this guy's getting... I heard a glider, and now I'm jumping up there, right? On the roof. Look at that, footsteps. You can see footsteps here, and I saw it myself. Now he's swinging up. He's up here. Heisted. Okay, all right, so let's go through that one more time here. Shoot, this guy's getting on the roof. Right here, I should be going stealth probably, because he's about to get on this roof. I could catch him by surprise. If I just go stealth, sneak over and go to the left here, I could probably crouch, catch this guy by surprise, hit him with a nice pump, and then finish him off, or at least, you know, have a big advantage in the fight. I don't know what this guy's equipment is like. I don't really know where he is on the roof. If I go up above and, you know, just play it 50-50, and that's exactly what I do. I go up here and we play the 50-50 game. I jump over the ridge, I take a shot, he hits me, I hit him. We're about even in the fight. I hit him for 60 and he hits me for about 50. But he has a heisted Maven, and there is basically no gun other than maybe the mythic drum that is more dangerous in a close range fight than a heisted Maven. So this is not a fight that I want to take. He is at an advantage, a huge advantage with the heisted Maven. Heisted. And I recognize that. I say heisted, and then we drop. I have 3 shockwave grenades right now. I have 3 shockwave grenades, and I need to be using them right now. Do not take this fight. Do not take this 50-50. This guy is above your head. He has an insane gun. It's spun up. It's ready to go. Get out of here. That's exactly what we need to do. And we don't do that. Instead, we ego challenge. I try to catch him off guard with a cool little mantle move right here. And he no-scopes me and then hits me with the heisted Maven. Now, a lot of people in this situation would just sum it up as that. I got no-scoped and hit with a heisted Maven, most broken gun in the game. That was just really unlucky, right? A lot of people do that. But that's not what we're doing here. We're taking accountability for our losses, because even if you get, you know, caught by surprise or outplayed in some way, you put yourself in that situation. And I put myself in this situation. I could have been in a much better position and much more set up, and this guy would have never gotten on the roof if I didn't make that first mistake. And then I also made a second mistake of taking a 50-50 fight with a guy that has a busted weapon. So really, this is entirely my fault and totally avoidable. Okay, so now this is the part where we try to reprogram our mind so that we make better decisions in the future. I just wrote out some notes here. The first thing I did is I wrote out the problems that I had, right? I wrote down 2 problems, and then I wrote down 2 solutions, 2 ways that I'm going to change my gameplay in the future to avoid a situation like this. Now, you might think this is silly, but there is power in writing something down. When you take the time to put ink onto paper or pencil to paper and you write out the problem and then you write out the solution, something flips in your mind and there's some long-term storage going on. It's not as short-term as if you were just reviewing gameplay and looking at it and going, oh, this is what I did. I should probably do this in the future. No, instead we are writing it out because I really believe, I think that there's a lot of studies on this that show that writing things out really does help you remember things and be able to recall that information in the future. This is why we write down notes in classrooms. Okay, so here's what I wrote down. Number 1, didn't get to best high ground first. That's what happened. I let that guy get to the high ground before me, or at least at the same time as me. And here's the solution that I wrote down. Now notice the way that I word this so that I am basically programming my mind to, in the future, I will do this. I can do this, right? Try to use as much positive verbiage or language that you can, because that is also going to like reaffirm that you can do something or that you will do something. Try not to say like, I don't, or I can't, or I shouldn't, or blah, blah, blah. Try to always kind of flip that in a positive light if you can. In the future, I will get to the best high ground position immediately. All right. Pretty simple. In the future, I will get to the best high ground position immediately. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, here's the second problem. I took a 50-50 fight against a player with a better close range weapon. That's what happened, right? He had a better close range weapon and I took a 50-50 fight. In the future, I will not take close range 50-50 fights unless I can create an advantage. Instead, I will use mobility to leave and get space to reset the fight. There you go. Now I know what I'm going to do in the future. First of all, I'm going to get the high ground first. Second of all, I'm not going to take a 50-50 unless I can find some sort of advantage in it. And if I feel like I'm at a disadvantage, I'm just going to use my equipment to leave. I had equipment. I could have used it. All right, let's go on to the next one. All right, so here's our second death. We're about halfway through the game, maybe 3/4 of the way through the game, 15 players left. I'm taking some pop shots at this guy at afar. That's just my guess. I hear someone coming up the stairs, and I have a Heisted Maven. Gonna go ahead and pop them. Again, most broken gun in the game, maybe except for the Mythic Drum, but range and speed at which it kills is ridiculous. And look at this, we get 5 shockwaves off this guy's body. 5 shockwaves, huge. Shockadoodles. Wow. I'm pretty excited about it. We also have a combat cache right here that just opened up that we just captured, and we got 2 slurps. Okay, someone's flying in right here. One mistake that could be arguably made is that I didn't get to high ground first. I'm out in the open right here. Just taking a fight out in the open, not using cover. So that is something to note. Probably should have just shockwaved above this guy. Fought from above. Okay, so we do that. You know, it takes us a little longer than I hoped. Now you hear that? That is a Heisted Maven shotgun. I recognize the sound. Let me just rewind that for you. Okay, so that's the sound of a Heisted Maven. Yes, a Heisted Maven too. I recognize that. I pop a slurp, so that's good. You know, just a moment to pop the slurp so that we have healing during the fight. He shockwaves up, and I go down below. And now this is great, because now I'm finding an advantage in this fight. I get to a right shoulder peek, and I'm going to let him make the mistake. Good. So this is good. I'm happy with myself. I'm happy with that gameplay. We used good cover. We took a 50-50 fight that we had an advantage in, though. You know, it wasn't really 50-50. He came in around the corner, walked into my shotgun shot, and we beat him. Now, here's the mistake I made. Someone just glided in, and they started walking on the roof. I can hear the metal clangs on the roof, and I was just scared that they're going to drop on my head. But in reality, I could have played this wall right here, just healed. It takes one moment to pop a slurp and just get full health, right? Now I shockwave out. And I'm not healed fully. I'm slowly healing with the slurp, but I jump into this vortex right here. And this is the second mistake I make. When you are being chased by someone or you've got an enemy on you, don't take the vortex, because it's super predictable and they can basically just go to the end of it and wait for you to show up, or you have to drop down, you get stuck in this canyon. It's just a bad spot to be, right? So I had 3 shockwaves. What I really should have done is just hit another shockwave and get out further away a lot quicker. Instead, I'm taking a very predictable route. I can hear this guy gliding behind me, and now I try to heal. I try to get a heal off, and it takes 2 seconds. But at this point, he knows exactly where I am. He does a good job spotting me, and then just lands behind me and melts me with a drum. Okay, So that's what happened. And a lot of players, again, would probably say, oh, unlucky, you got third partied and the guy had a drum shotgun, and they would chalk it up to being unlucky and getting drum shotgunned. No, not here. We are taking accountability for our losses. And what we did wrong was that we made the incorrect move of not healing first while we were being pushed. We had time to heal. We were in good cover. He didn't know exactly where we were. Just heal. And then the second mistake we made was not using another shockwave here. Use another shockwave, just go into the storm. It's fine, because we don't want to be in this vortex when I know there's at least one player over here that I was shooting at earlier, and there's a guy on my back. Shockwave to the right, shockwave to the left. Just don't drop into the vortex and become very predictable, right? Or at least just go down right here. I don't know. Just do something other than like going right here, because yeah. This guy just found us right away. He knew exactly what we were doing. And yeah, so use the shockwaves. That's what they're for. You want to use the equipment. All right, so now I've written down in my handy dandy notebook my mistakes and my solutions. Number one, I made the mistake of not healing immediately after the fight while I still had good cover. Here's the solution. In the future, I will keep calm after a fight and stay hidden in cover to heal quickly. I will shockwave away after slurp juices have kicked in. Okay, here's a second mistake I made. I made the mistake of using a predictable and slow vortex to get away in a chase. Here's the solution. In the future, I will use multiple shockwaves to create space quicker, and I won't take vortexes to try to outrun people. Using my equipment resources is better than dying. So just use the shockwaves, man. All right, let's get to our next one. All right, so here's my next death in the stream. We're about to hit this rift right here. And we're just scouting around looking for enemies. Gas station, maybe? Yikes. Chill, brother. And now you can't see the look on my face right now, but I'm quite surprised. And I'm feeling like this guy's either cheating or just like extremely good, because he's hitting me good while I'm flying around. Immediately I know it's a good player and I want to get some space. And we run into another player, so this is a little unfortunate. We get out our heals, we hit the jump pad or the jump mushroom at the same time, and we see this little grind rail and we make a play for it. So this is very well done, and I'm very happy with how I did this. Now we look back. Well, this guy's a pretty easy target. Gotta admit, that was an accident, hitting that little hot flower, but certainly helped. And that guy just got outplayed. And now I like this. We immediately move, because that guy's pushing us, and we drop. All right, so here's really where I see my first mistake. Basically, I fall down here and I don't take a right. I could have taken a right here, and there's better canopy cover, right? Because he can't see through the canopy of where I went. And basically, I'd have the advantage. I could be hiding in a bush or something and just kind of wait for him to drop and try to find me. And I could spray him out of the air as he's coming down or whatever. I would be at somewhat of an advantage or have a better footing in the fight. Instead, what I do is I decide I'm going to just try to get away from this guy, because I'm actually kind of in fear right now of how crazy this guy's hidden me through the canopy. And just in the air, right? Like, this is crazy. I'm actually convinced he's aimbotting at this second. And that's what I'm currently crying about. Okay, now he pushes over me and slides in. Okay, and now we get this is a nice move. I go up here to high ground and I get this bush, and I'm using this nice advantage right here to reset the fight. And we do them for 120. So we know that we're about even in the fight now, right? He's down to 130 health. I'm at about 150. And here's our number 2 mistake. Huge mistake. I have high ground. I have a repeater. Why am I jumping down here to fight this guy? Stop at this edge. Use your repeater. It does explosive damage. He can't do anything about it. Instead, I jump off high ground and I ego challenge this superhero Sweat. Because I'm just so mad at him. I don't know what I was thinking. We get away with it. But we take way too much damage and we lose a good high ground position. We're very exposed. I was pretty excited that I got him, but we're getting third partied. Now, this would have played out differently if I would have just stayed in the bush, stayed up here, shoot this guy or whatever, but stay on high ground. Like, just stay up here. Boom. keep shooting that repeater at him, piss him off, make him run, and then we just shoot him on the air. Instead, we play his game. We come down to him. We take a 50-50 fight. We take way too much damage, and then we have no health, and we get third party. So that was the second mistake I made, and totally avoidable. Okay, so how do we fix this? Number one, let's write out the mistake we made. I made the mistake of not using the canopy to hide from enemy shots. I tried to run instead of concealing myself and healing quickly. Here's how I'm going to fix that in the future. In the future, I will recognize when I have a moment to go stealth and lose my enemy or heal. I will hide in foliage until they leave. In the future, I'm going to use stealth to my advantage and, at least get an equal foot in the fight, or just let them leave the premises when they're trying to find me. All right, the second mistake I made was ego challenging a player and taking a 50-50 fight when I could have used high ground and range to play safer. I could have used my equipment better with the explosive repeater. In the future, I will use stealth after getting distance from my enemy. I will not take a 50-50 fight, and I will maintain high ground. All right, let's go to our last death here, and we're gonna be at racetrack, right? We're driving this car around. We see this guy up ahead of us. He hits us with a repeater, does 46 to us, and the car just flings us into racetrack. Now, I'm gonna push this cliff right here to try to basically fight back with this nice hard cover while he comes in. And we hit him out of the air, right? That's huge. And this is where we make the main mistake, the big mistake. Jumping off this, losing our high ground, and taking a 50-50 fight down on the ground with this guy. He might have a drum shotgun, who knows? And then look, we whiffed the shot. If we would have been above and we whiff a shot, we would have been okay. We could have just backed up into high ground, into cover, into a head glitch, taken another shot at him. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Instead, we jumped down here, and now we're just taking a 50-50. He has shockwaves with soaring sprints, and he's way up in the air now, and he's tagging us with the repeater. And now he's soaring sprints again, tagging us with a repeater, does massive damage to us, hits us with a headshot apparently. And now we have pretty much lost this fight. At this point, I was trying to get mobile and avoid his shots. Looking back at it, I would say that I probably should have just stayed in the bunker because at least I would have a better chance. But it all happened so quick, right? Like this guy hit me so hard right here that it was just so unexpected that I kind of freaked out and I didn't want to get shot by him again, so I dropped. But I'm noticing now that I keep dropping out of high ground into low ground and then taking these 50-50s. So this is something that I definitely need to work out of my game, and I am going to do it. I'm not going to be dropping off of high ground anymore. I will be maintaining high ground. So let's go over this last one here, and here it is. Number one, I made the mistake of ego challenging a player and turning the fight into a 50-50 and losing my advantage by dropping down to them. Now here's the solution. In the future, I will leave the fight and create more space. If I have high ground, I will stay on it and pressure my opponent from above. I do not take 50-50 fights. I maintain my advantage. There it is. I hope this video was helpful for you. It's a little weird. It's a different format for sure. I'm wondering if it was helpful for you guys, so please leave a comment below. If you found it helpful, give it a like if you enjoyed it. One thing that I want to note about this is that I was playing very good players in most of these situations, right? People that if you give them a small advantage, or if you take a second and you make a mistake, they will take advantage of it and you will lose that fight. And that is really important to be breaking down my gameplay now and looking at the small mistakes that I'm making and these quick bad decisions, right? So I am dropping to low ground. I am not resetting the fight when I could be. I'm taking 50-50s. These are things that I need to work out of my game. And I will say that in a less competitive environment, when your players aren't as godly as some of these people are, and they aren't going to just eliminate you in a second if you make a mistake, it's even more important to be breaking down your gameplay because you're going to be winning a lot more engagements if you break it down, you write down the mistakes, and you recognize these things, because you're going to be outplaying these players that are a little more average, a little more mediocre, who are going to be making a lot of mistakes, and you'll be making a lot less mistakes, and that is going to put you at a huge advantage, and it's just really going to help you learn the game faster. So I highly recommend this technique for improving your own gameplay. And if you like this kind of stuff, if you really like the deep dive into improving your own gameplay, consider signing up for a Toby1 Shinobi Clan membership at the master level, because we do 3 days a week of hands-on training with like-minded individuals as well as myself. We run through routines, techniques, and drills for the more novice players, and then we also have a separate group for the more high-skilled players that is more of like an FFA, and we give each other feedback during this FFA, and it's a very positive environment where you can give each other feedback on how to improve and that sort of thing. And we also go through combat techniques techniques and drills there. The link to join is in the video description. And if you're new to the channel here or you haven't subscribed, please check out my must-watch zero build playlist. I think it's really going to help you out. And maybe after watching it, you'll consider subscribing. I know you will. All right, thank you so much for watching. Have yourself a great day. Shinobi out.